Hey everyone, today I'm going to review the 2023 VW Tiguan Allspace Lite, which is just behind me here. Now the Lite is the base model Tiguan, and what we're going to do in this review is we're going to have a look at the exterior, then I'm going to show you the interior, and then finally I'm going to talk about what the car is like to drive. I have reviewed the 2019 version of the Allspace. That was a mid-tier Allspace, and if you're interested in seeing that review, that should just be popping up now. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to this channel by pressing the subscribe button below. Alright, let's take a closer look at this VW Tiguan. Don't mind the colour of this, it's sort of a deep blue colour there. As you can see, the front grille there, not too different to the previous Tiguans. Slightly different down the bottom of there. You've got a bit of the black plastic on here, being the base model there. Taking you around the side here, you can see those wheels there. I actually don't mind them, they've got a bit of a grey colour to them there, which give them a bit more of a sporty look in my mind. Anyway, they're 18-inch wheels and they're 235 wide and they're 55 profile. Take around the side, you've got this Allspace badging in the chrome there. You've got some chrome mirrors there. I've noticed there with the Volkswagen name, which I didn't notice before on the Tiguan, previous Tiguans that I've reviewed. And just taking around the side again, you can see that black plastic all around the side. And then you've got the rear, again looking pretty similar to the previous Tiguans, not too different. No exhaust here. You've got the two little, I wouldn't even call them fake area exhausts, because it's sort of done a bad attempt at that if it's fake. You can see if there's even any exhaust down the bottom there. I actually can't even see them down there myself. I'm sure there's an exhaust hidden somewhere underneath the black plastic there. And then you've got the Allspace badging on the left there. Alright, well let's take you around the interior of the car. Okay, taking a look at the Tiguan inside, and there are a few differences from the earlier Tiguans in this model. One of the differences is you now get a virtual cockpit in here, so your gauges, and there's a few small little views in here, which I'll show you. I'll just turn the car on. So it actually allows me to see a few different views. So that's one main view, and then you can switch between some other views that you can look at, and then you can change some of the dials in the center there. Coming around, having a look at the infotainment system, this looks pretty much identical to the earlier models. It's an 8-inch infotainment system in this model. Will get bigger as you go to the higher spec models. And then come down here, and there is a different look and feel to the air conditioning controls down here, or climate control, where it's now more touch than in dials or anything like that. You've got two USB sockets, micro USB sockets they are, and the gear stick looks all the same with your buttons pretty similar to the previous model. This one's base model, so you don't have any dials. This is just a 2-wheel drive here, and start stop button there. 2 cup holders. Having a look at the seats, pretty basic trim for mine. No leather here, just fabric trim. Some of the materials are okay. Soft plastics there, hard plastics here. I don't mind this sort of fake carbon look. It does mixes the cabin up and makes it less plain, with giving it a bit of a two-tone style. And then you see that sort of fake carbon look around the doors. The steering wheel is a good size, nice and easy to hold in your hand, doesn't feel too big, and you got a range of different dials for the different things that you might want to control. And I'll take you now around the back, and we have a closer look at the rear. Okay, the rear here, from outside, it looks like there's a good amount of room. I just see my head coming in there, so I have to be a bit careful. I'm not too tall. Okay, good amount of leg room there. Are these on rails? They are, but this is all the way back they can go. Drivetrain in the middle doesn't come up too much, which is always a good thing. And I can see the car's not on at the moment, but there is a bit of a screen, so I can control the air conditioning in the rear. Might just check if that is possible by turning the car on quickly. There we go. Yep, that is possible. So you can control the air conditioning at the back here, which is good. And then a micro USB socket again. Basic seats again here, and you've got some cup holders and storage down there. For passengers, you've got some interesting map holders here. You've got a map holder up here, which I thought's quite interesting. I haven't seen too many like that. And then obviously your standard usual map holders. You've got your center console, which will have 2 cup holders in it, and these seats will obviously fold down completely if you need more room. Okay, well that's the rear. Let's have a look at the boot. Boot space, as you'd expect, it's a reasonable size in this. It's 615 litres boot space. Obviously when you take those rear seats up, you'll get a lot less boot space, and I'll show you that shortly. With a storage compartment, you do have a spare space saver tyre in here, and you can see it just underneath there, and you can also see the cargo cover, which is at the moment is stored down there as well. If you want that second row to drop, you just press here and it will drop the second row down. You can see there's a cup holder on this side, but for some reason not on that side for people who use that third row. And I can't see, oh yeah, I can see a charging 12-volt socket just there. I'll just pull this up here. It should be easy enough to pull up. It is sometimes when those seats are back all the way, it can be difficult to pull up. So that gives you a bit of an idea of how much room is there once that's up. Still enough for some small luggage, so you're not completely out of space. And that's just to have a look at there in that third row, see how much room you have. I might just hop in there quickly and just give you a closer look at that as well. So interestingly, I'm trying to get in this third row, and I'm looking and I'm like, okay, well, I pull that. That drops that down. If I pull that harder, does that move that seat? No, it feels like I'm going to rip it off. Okay, fine. There, I'll pull it forward. It seems to be fairly difficult to pull forward. So I'm sure there is an easier way, and there's something else I've got to pull in here, but it's not too obvious for me. So I'm just going to hop over this seat to show you. But it's one downside. It's not that easy to figure out how to get that other seat there. Look, there's not a huge amount of room in there, so you'd want those seats pushed forward, because when that comes up, I'm definitely going to be pretty squashed in here. So yeah, mainly for kids, this third row, I'd say. So what's the Tiguan like to drive? Well, usually I would have a cameraman that would be filming at the same time as I'm driving and telling you what it's like. But in today's review, I don't have a cameraman, so I'm just going to talk about what it's been like to drive. Now, the first thing I did notice when I hopped in this was there's no driving mode button at all. There's nothing there. And the reason I did notice that is because when I took off from the first set of lights, I was like, feels a bit soft, the accelerator, like I'm not really going anywhere. Am I in some sort of specific like efficiency or blue mode or something like that? You know, why isn't it going, you know, it's not really reacting to me pushing the accelerator that much. I'm looking around the cabin, I'm like, okay, well, I can't really see anything. I can see that there's got the Tiptronic here, the paddle shifts. I think it's got Tiptronic on the gear stick. Then I can put in sports mode, but that tells me it's in manual mode, so that's not really sports mode, it's just a manual mode. But well, making me choose the gears. After about, I don't know, 20 minutes of driving and looking around the cabin, I did figure it out. It's on the gear stick. There was a little pointing arrow, which should be popping up now. And if I push that down, it moves into sports mode. If I push it back up, it tells me it goes in drive mode again. So it holds the gears, but it's only got 2 modes then, or maybe 3 if you want to include the manual mode, which is a bit weird in a sort of what you call somewhat of a premium car, being a VW, and a 2023 car, that you've got no real proper modes in it. You've just got 2 modes. You've got your normal mode and your sports mode. So that was a bit strange. And while we're on the engine, this one is the 110 TSI, so it's obviously the base model and the base model engine. It's a 1.4 litre 4-cylinder engine, and it's only got 110 kilowatts and 250 newton meters of torque. And you do feel that around town. It does feel underpowered. If you want to get to 100 kilometers, it'll take you approximately about 9.7 seconds. So it's not a slouch, but obviously it's not super fast. And it's also paired to a 6-speed DSG gearbox, dual clutch gearbox. And that gearbox is pretty smooth with changes. You don't really feel the changes of gears or anything like that. Technology in this car, base model, you get quite a lot with it. So you've got your side alerts there, you've got your lane assist, you've got your front and rear meditation alerts, you've got your rear view camera, front sensors, no 360-degree camera, but if that's important, just, you know, go up to one of the higher models there. So most of the main technology that you need, it's got. It's also quite nice on the road. It's very smooth the way it rides the bumps, and there's not too much outside noise that comes into the cabin. So it does feel like a premium car when driving it. The brakes are good. In terms of fuel consumption, it's actually well, on paper, it says it's 7.7 litres combined to 100 kilometres, which I feel is a bit more than I'd expect from a small 1.4 litre engine. The car's only weighs about 1.6 tonnes, so again, it's not hugely a heavy car. So I thought you'd get a bit better fuel consumption in this day and age out of that engine. You're getting the base model, you're not getting as much power, but you're not getting much benefits on the fuel front either. So that's why I would definitely recommend, if you're going to get one of these, not to get the base model engine in this. What other things did I like inside the cabin? The 8-speaker standard stereo system was quite good, actually, a lot better than its Asian counterpart. Sure, you can opt for, if you go one of the high spec models, a Harman Kardon system, but this 8-speaker system's fine. It's good quality, and I wasn't feeling like I needed something even more bassier than that system. In terms of price, I think this is priced pretty well. So in Australia, you're looking at about 43,000 Australian dollars to get your hands on this, which is okay for a somewhat premium SUV with 7 seats in it and a good amount of room for the family. All in all, what do I think of this car? Look, it hasn't excited me too much, to be honest, but it's not meant to be an exciting car. It's meant to be a practical car. I would say that you probably should have a look at what else is around, because there's some other good mid to sort of large SUVs that are around in this class. It's a very popular class to look at. So definitely don't just stick with the Tiguan and think this is the best you're going to get. If you do like the Tiguan, don't go with a base model. Just pay a bit extra and go one of the higher models. Even the mid-spec 130 TSI would probably be a better buy. Feel a bit more powerful, feel a bit more premium inside with a bit of the leather and things inside that you can get there. So I'd definitely go for that. Anyway, thanks for watching the review today. If you liked it, please subscribe to this channel.